my God. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our channels. I'm Susan Lynn, and this is Kevin's Loving Vibrations. You're either on his channel or my channel, and we really appreciate you joining us tonight. How are you doing, Kevin? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you, Susan?
I'm
So good to
doing
be here.
great. Yes. I was just saying, because y'all know I'm spicy. I was just saying I need a crash helmet and some goggles. So listen, I will say to those of you on my channel, and probably Kevin would say the same thing. Let's treat each
Mhm.
other with dignity and respect, and let's try not to be judgmental about each other. We're kind of, the wheels are coming off the bus, and that we've talked about
Mhm.
this for many, gosh, honestly, for years. I think the thing is that when we were talking and predicting the roller coaster of this year, of this summer, it was like unemotional, you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, we're all going to be on a roller coaster. Well, now I'm
Yeah,
strapped in this thing and I went off.
right? We all have to
It's
hang
a
in
little
there.
different.
It's a bumpy ride, right?
It's a little bumpy ride. Yeah. So just please be nice to each other and be nice to us, because whatever you think you're going through, I can promise you right now, me and Kevin are going through double. Because
Yeah.
we see things and we're like, I just want to be like this. Now, having said that, let's get to brass nuts here. If that's the, I don't even think that's the name of it. But we both still see a Democratic ticket. Okay. We do
Mhm.
not see Trump in office. Is that correct, Kevin?
No, I don't see him. My
We don't
guides are
see it.
very clear. No, he will not be president again.
Right. So we don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to worry, about that. Now, what I want you guys to be careful of and worry about is your own energy, right? Take care of yourself,
Mm,
because we really do need, what we do need is a really big uh, landslide in the House and the Senate. We need really more seats because we've got work to do. We're going to need to be rolling
yeah,
up our sleeves, and we're going to really need to do a lot of work, especially to either deal with the Supreme Court or go around them or whatever we have to do. So, what we really need is more senators and more reps than we ever thought possible. So, please, please,
yeah,
please consider text banking, volunteering, sending, prayers, whatever you can do to help those people, because we've got to get them in. And you know what? The guides just told me. I know that Kevin does this. Kevin has had very, very good success, like top of the line success in predicting these elections. He's got a few of these in his, in his rearview mirror. He's got the big rodeo buckle. He doesn't wear it very often, but he's got this big like rodeo buckle from predicting the elections. So
okay.
sometime we're going to have to talk about that, because we're going to need to talk about, is Carrie Lake going to win? Is
I'm doing a deep dive into all of the
right?
elections. Yeah, I did, I
Because
think, for 2022.
you did. I think you kind of like did a chart, like you put it out there for
Mm-hmm.
everybody to score. Like for those scoring at home, Kevin Chandler says
I think it was like for the Senate, I think I was like almost 90%. The governor
that's
races, I think
insane.
86. I mean, it was pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty insane. So,
Yeah,
yeah, so I do think, Betty, I don't know what Kevin thinks about this, but I've always gotten really good energy around Gloria Johnson
yeah,
beating Marsha Blackburn
yeah. My
in
guides had
Tennessee,
told me for the Senate that I think we're going to lose a seat in
West
Joe
Virginia.
Manchin, West
Yeah.
Virginia,
Mm.
but we were going to be able to hold on to the blue seats in the red states like Ohio, Montana, and then Democrats would be able to flip 2 to 4 other states. And I think that Tennessee, that race is one of them that could go blue. I think it'll be very close, but it could go blue.
See, I really see it going blue. I mean, I think
All
it's
right.
crazy because Gloria Johnson is a state, rep, or
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't have a national, she doesn't have a whole state of Tennessee name recognition, and of course, Marsha Blackburn has a storied career as a psychopath. So, but anyway, I really, for whatever reason, I feel like Gloria Johnson's really going to beat it. I see these country music stars getting behind Gloria
Yeah,
Johnson
a lot
and
of
pushing her
momentum.
over the line there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I felt too. I know that, you know, the party's feeling a little bit divided right now, or, with everything going on, post debate. But I still feel the party coming together before the election because there's so much at stake. I see celebrities, you know, um, politicians, and like a big rally, a lot of momentum kind of coming together, and I do feel a lot of big energy around Gloria Johnson's campaign. I mean, I think Taylor Swift will be out. You'll have all the past Democratic presidents, Hillary, Michelle. It feels really big.
Yeah, it feels really big. And I know right now it just seems like, again, the wheels are coming off the bus.
Yeah.
But I really do agree with Kevin. And the other thing I saw was people like Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand. I just saw these people, these kind of older grand dames, of pop music coming out and supporting. I'm not saying those two, but it's like those two. And then if you're a baseball player fan, the bases are loaded. All these celebrities come out, and then Taylor Swift comes out, some respectable amount of time before the election, but not too early, because you want to peak right at that election time.
Yeah.
She comes out and knocks everybody home. So she comes out and says, boom. And maybe even Travis, does as well. I don't know. That might be interesting with his football career. But anyway, but I feel like you're going to see, I think this is what you're going to see, you guys. You're going to see everybody coming back together right now.
Yeah.
I do feel like we've gotten sucker punched. I do feel like, the wind's been knocked out of me. You know what I mean? Some of these celebrities that have come out in, in favor of that shenanigans and malarkey.
Yeah.
And at the same time, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the whole thing, the debate and everything kind of going on now, I think it's really kind of bringing to all of our attentions that we can't take this race for granted. And I think that there's a lot of fear on both sides, kind of going in, if he's on the ticket, if he's not. But like I said, it's because there's so much at stake in this election, and I really see us all coming together. It's like we get complacent sometimes, and so sometimes we need a bit of a tower moment to kind of, okay, we got to all come into work. We all have to push really hard to get this done, and that's what it feels like. It's like building this momentum up to the election, and it feels like the summer is going to be a bit shaky for us, but also for the Republicans. I mean, I think Trump's about to have his tower moment, and even with the Republican convention next week, it doesn't feel like we're going into good energy there for them. But I feel like we're going to get it together before the election, like August, September. September feels really huge. Right before people start to early vote, and really getting, like you said before, we don't want to peak too early, but right before people start to vote. And we're going to see too, we're already starting to see it, celebrities talking about Project 2025, and we're actually hearing the news talking about it. I see it all over my Facebook. So it's getting attention of what the Republicans' plans are if Trump gets in office, or if Republicans take over, and it's terrifying. Even for a lot of Republicans, I think they're kind of scared of that agenda. So I see it all being okay. I know we all have PTSD, but we just all have to come together and do our best to stay grounded, visualize that win, just attract what we, put out the energy that we want to attract. So really keeping that faith and the hope, so important right now. And that's what we're all here for. We're all a spiritual family coming together to support one another. So we're going to get through it.
We're going to get through it, you guys. And look, I've been here before. I know Kevin's been here before. I was here when Biden was running against Trump, right? I was here right here on YouTube telling you guys Biden was going to win. I'm not always right. Not everybody's always right.
Right.
But we're right enough that you guys tune into us, and maybe it makes you frustrated that sometimes we're wrong, but that's just free will, you guys. I can't guarantee people are going to do what the energy suggests they're going to do, right? So, we're here. We're trying to be of service. This is, a free service for you. So, the thing is, you guys have to use your own discernment, and you have to take care of yourselves. If it's too much, stop watching the news. It's not, you watching the news 24/7 is not electing anybody. It's not electing anybody. actually it's making you so depressed that you're not going out and talking to your neighbors. You're not going out and doing the text banking or the phone banking or the praying or the meditating. So it's actually, their plan to take you offline, right? So please
Mm.
try to take really good care of yourselves. And these people like Rob Reiner and George Clooney, notice that they're a little older, and really I feel like the younger demographic is going to be the ones that come in and vote. And they
Mm.
are, when you talk to them about 2025, that's all you got to do. I've given you guys
Mm.
suggestions. You can print it out. You can go into restrooms and leave it on the counter. You can leave it on the table at your restaurant you just ate at. You can put it under people's windshields. I mean, whatever you want to do. But we have to educate people about what 2025 is. When they're educated, they literally, you can see it on their face. Like they're like, oh, snap. And now
Yeah.
they're ready to vote for the Democratic ticket. Period. End of
Mm.
story. Because it's
Yeah.
the Democratic ticket or getting locked up, losing all your rights, not being able to vote. Who knows? Tribunals, right?
Losing your
I
social
mean,
security, you know?
Social Security,
Yeah.
Veterans Affairs gone, overtime gone. If you're brown or black, I don't even know what's going to happen to you, right? If you're gay, I don't know what's going to
Mhm.
happen to you, right? So once they get educated, you guys, this is our opportunity to educate those people. We're not talking about talking to MAGAs. I'm not talking about talking to MAGAs. I'm talking about talking to the college kids or the people that are just unplugged. And I
Mm.
think you're going to start seeing comedians and celebrities that those
Yeah.
people watch come out and say, hey, like Taraji.
Yeah.
We know Taraji P. Penn, when she did the BET Awards and she talked about Project 2025, it was the number one Google search.
Mm.
That
Even more so than Taylor Swift.
she put it on the map. She literally put
Yeah.
it on the map. So it's not over. Let's try to not think that it's over. This isn't over. Trump's not over. Trump has got the worst energy right now. And I still think that they're coming for him at the convention,
Mm.
and he could escape that. I can't 100% say he won't, but even if he escapes it, we're still going to have to deal with the Supreme Court. We're still going to
Yeah.
have to deal with um, Project 2025. So we need senators. We need representatives. That's what we really need.
Mm. I concur with everything Susan said.
My
I agree.
my my thing. Okay. So let me tell you this crazy conspiracy theory that I got. And Kevin's really good at like backing me down and like telling me, I don't really get that, Susan. I don't know. He's really good at being the voice of reason. But here's something. This has a lot of energy around it. I don't understand it completely. So we all know that Trump doesn't want to pick a VP. I mean, we already know
Mm.
that. He doesn't really want to. Um, One of the options that he's considering, so he's got plan A through F or Z even. I've always said that. He's a wily guy. He's not going to just put all his chips on red. He's going to put some chips on 5 other colors. And as things move, he changes his plans. That's one reason why it's kind of hard to predict him. But
Mm.
one of his plans might be, if he knows they're gunning for him in the convention, and they might be gunning for him in the convention because, well, now he's got king-like powers. We know Biden won't use those powers, right? But
Mm.
we don't know that Trump won't use those powers, and we're not even sure that the Supreme Court won't rubber stamp anything he tries to do. So now you've got a guy with a lot of power, with the might of the United States military behind it. And now you've got people like, world leaders that would be our enemies, like Putin or whatever, even China, saying, wait a minute, this guy was our puppet. Now he's got access to the world's best military, and
Mm.
he's immune. Now I think the energy quotient has shifted, and I think these people don't want him in office.
Oh, interesting. I feel like there's energy around that, but it feels like it continues to kind of grow as we get closer to the election too. I kind of feel like there's, like I said, I'm feeling something big is about to explode on the Republican side. I can just feel it. Can't
it
you?
has to do, don't you think it has to do with like underage kids,
It could be
maybe,
that.
and
Well, and then I
45?
heard too, well, it's not with 45, but I've always felt dark Russian money being exposed
Yeah.
um, for the Republicans. And I think I just heard that Clarence Thomas was in Russia on a yacht and
Yeah.
visiting Putin's palace, and I think there's going to be a lot more to come out.
There's going to be a
But
lot with
the
that for sure.
convention feels really something big's going to happen during the Republican convention too.
Julianne just
Yeah,
said
that too.
AOC
Mhm.
submitted impeachment papers for Thomas. I didn't know it was Alito as well. I knew Thomas. What
Yeah.
is your feeling? Do you feel like well, also she went to the DOJ. Apparently the Senate also went to the DOJ and said, "We're asking you to investigate this. We feel there's
Mm.
a crime here." That was about Thomas. What do you feel? Do you feel like the Senate, do you feel like the DOJ will take that case?
It feels like I'm feeling more energy around the DOJ, but it's going to take some time too. So I don't know if it's something that's done before the election, but I kind of feel like
No.
there's still a lot of big things happening in the meantime where Clarence Thomas might resign beforehand, like the pressure starts to eat him alive. Um, but I do feel like the DOJ investigating for sure, and even the Senate. But I don't feel impeachment. They wouldn't have the votes, I don't think, in the House, and then um, I think it'd be a bit dicey in the Senate too. But absolutely, I do feel investigations into the Supreme Court.
I'm telling you
But I love
guys,
AOC. You gotta love
we're
her.
I love AOC. We're gonna win. The Dems are gonna win, and then
Mm,
people are gonna go, "Uh-oh, we bet on the wrong horse." And you're gonna see
mm.
everybody like cleaning up their social media and changing their opinions. You're gonna see them really doing a different dance.
Yeah.
And then somebody
But
asked about
yeah.
Johnson. I'm thinking, I could be so wrong, but right now they're considering something to do with Johnson and Lara
Mm,
Trump. So if, again, this is out there, I'm just telling you there's energy around it. If Trump decided that he's not going to win, because I know these polls, I mean, look, I know we're all freaking out, but the bottom line is they know the reality. They get the real data. If
mhm,
he knows he's not going to win, and I've always kind of seen him fleeing but not being able to. But let's say he really does. Let's say he goes, because what my guide said was like Assange. He goes to Qatar or something, stays
are you
at,
talking about Johnson or are you talking about
I'm
Trump?
talking about Trump fleeing to Qatar and
Uh-huh.
Johnson running for president along with Lara Trump because
Oh,
Lara Trump
geez.
has the money. And then I'm telling you, it's crazy. I'm not kidding. It is crazy. But Trump would rubber stamp it because Laura Trump has the money and he trusts her. He wouldn't have given her that money. He doesn't
Mm,
trust his own boys. Ivanka wants nothing to do with him. Melania wants nothing to do with him. Barron's too young. And here we are with Lara Trump, who has the keys to the kingdom. She has all the money. She is the chair and CFO and every other thing of the TNC, the Trump National Committee, which overtook the Republican National Committee. Republican National Committee only gets 10% now. Trump gets it all. But my guides kept saying Assange. Trump is going to be like Assange,
okay.
who stayed at a embassy for
Mm,
several years. And from there he can say, I'm a dictator in, I'm a president in exile, and keep the money rolling.
mm.
I'm telling you, it's wild, but my guide said this is a possibility. I'm not
Oh,
saying it's
wow.
100%, but it's a possibility. And that would be why Mike Johnson visited Mar-a-Lago out of the blue like a month ago or 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
Tell me I'm crazy. Go ahead. I mean,
I'm
I'm
not
willing
picking
to
that up,
say
Susan, but
on
I
a
don't
20. Go ahead.
I said I'm not personally picking that up, but I mean, I don't doubt what you're picking up either. So, I'm not personally feeling it. I'm feeling Mike Johnson's going to be out soon. I think
Really?
before the
Good.
election, I've always felt
Well, if
that.
he runs for president, he might end up having to step down. I
Mm.
don't know. I don't
But I
know what
don't
the
think.
rules are.
I think even with the polling, do you really think that Donald Trump would flee the country before the election? I mean, his court
Only if
cases
he
are.
thought he was dead to rights.
Mm, I don't know.
Only
I've
if he
never
thought he
felt
was
that
dead to rights.
possibility. That's fleeing to me. When I tap into Trump's energy, feels like it's the absolute last resort. I do think it's a plan, but I think he's being watched too closely. I don't see him doing that. I know others have seen that. To each their own. I just don't see that.
I've seen it off and on. I've seen it
Mm,
off and on over the years. But that just means that he's considering it, right? Again, he has free will, you guys. I can't, I don't even ask me how many Big Macs he eats a day because I don't know. Sometimes he wants one, sometimes he wants five. I don't know, right? Plus, I'm not getting in that energy. Um,
Susan.
well, maybe they are teasing me, but I don't think so. I think he's really considering that. Um, I think he's really considering that. So the options are, he could cross over to the big McDonald's in the sky, right?
Mm,
Does anybody think that if he doesn't win, he's just going to go to Mar-a-Lago and be like, "Oh, well, I lost." Does anybody really think that's
right.
going to happen? What
Right.
what is he going to do? Go, y'all in the comments, go into his energy yourself. You guys tell me, right? He's not going to go down without a fight. And being an exile gives him access to the money. His MAGAs will pour money into him because it makes sense to his narrative of being, the victim of,
Mm.
I'm exiled. I can't come home because they'll put me in jail unfairly. It all makes sense. Who knows whether or not that's going to happen? I don't know.
I still
And then
feel energy around illness around Trump.
I do too,
And
but is it going to be enough illness? I mean, I know I'm in dimension. I'm in
I'm
detention
feeling
already.
pretty severe. I don't know. I've always felt like it's a possibility he may not even be around, or maybe
Well,
he's
yeah,
not
it's a
calling for it.
possibility.
Yeah,
It's a definite possibility. But I always look at the energy. And if Trump
yeah.
is here to teach us a lesson, what's the lesson? Number
Mm,
1, and number 2, if the lesson is still in play, then he's not going to leave the game. He's too good of a
right,
teacher for us. So that's why I feel like, and I've never said he's going to, die on this date or that date. Hey,
right.
Lotus is little blue Lotus is here. Chart looks bad for health. I love
Yeah,
her. She says, looks bad, real bad.
real bad.
All right. Well, you know what? If he survives, hey, Kevin Lewis, healing medium. If he doesn't survive, then I'll be happy to say a prayer and wish him on his way.
I'm
If
with
he
you.
does survive, then we've got a ball game. Then we've got something else going on. So do
Mm.
you feel like he knows that they're going to come for him at the convention?
I feel like that he knows something's up, but I think there's also that level of delusion where, you know, he thinks of himself as king. So it's like, oh, I'm invincible. But I do kind of feel like there's some rumblings that he's aware of beforehand.
Yeah, that's the thing. If his own people are turning against him and he can't trust them, it's really scary that Trump and Biden are experiencing the same thing where their inner circles kind of turning against them. It's just
Mm.
too much of a pattern, too much of a synchronicity.
Yeah.
So it just feels like that could be a lesson for us in some way.
Mm.
But anyway, that's my crazy conspiracy theory. Who knows? I have seen him crossing too, but I
Yeah.
just he's held on like McConnell has held on. You know,
Mm.
McConnell's impossible to predict. Impossible. He finally, the
I
last
don't
thing
feel
he
good
said to
about
me,
McConnell
"I'm
either.
gonna die." What's that?
So I don't feel good about McConnell either.
I don't either, but he's still walking around like a corpse.
Yeah. Well, that's where timing's always a bit hard with it too. Is
Exactly.
we pick up on some energy, we feel energy with something, things shift and things kind of weave until we get there. Sometimes they happen sooner than what we're thinking. Sometimes it's right on. Sometimes it's pushed out.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yep, yep, yep.
So what do we
So
want to look
yeah,
at? Do we want to look at the
Yeah.
Republican convention
Let's
with the
look at
energy
the Republican convention.
power
Let's see what's going on with them.
with that? I'm
So
going to throw some
somebody
quotes
said in
in.
the comments, Haley wasn't invited.
I heard that.
That's funny. Um, he's not gonna, Trump is just not going to be that easy of a target. He's just not. He didn't survive. Look at how many people Putin crossed over. And here Trump is, right. He didn't survive all this time without
Mm.
being wily, without being able to navigate through, shark infested waters. Haha. um, She gave her delegate votes to 45. That's right. Haley gave her
Yeah.
delegate votes to 45. To me, that just, if he's not going to cross over, his options are really crossing over, right? Going back to Mar-a-Lago and dealing with his 34 indictments, which are still coming. Even if it gets knocked down to half of that, there's still a whole bunch of indictments. I mean, and he has to deal with this stuff. What are you getting there, Kevin?
Um, well, I'll just say I think I read on it yesterday. The Tower was the first card, I think, crossing the reading, which is upheaval, chaos, unexpected chaos.
Power.
I didn't get it this time, but I did get the Death card, which is endings. It's kind of starting over, rebirth, renewal. And I'm feeling that they're at a crossroads, not sure of which direction to go into. Loss of money. It feels like it's financially related, and I don't know if there's some information that comes out about taking money or something like that, but it's like they're kind of out in the cold. They don't know what to do, and they're a bit trapped. They're unable to kind of move forward. I get like there's some they're feeling very defeated, oppressed even. I even feel like there might be some, feels like, like a rally cry, like a protest, kind of outside of it too. But the energy feels really kind of not good to me, kind of tapping in.
It's terrible. The energy is terrible for the convention, whether it's a coup, whether it's infighting, or uh,
Yeah.
and that's so interesting because the Republicans have always been like in lockstep with each other. They don't
Mhm.
they don't truck any of that. You're not going to, we don't allow it. We don't allow dissension in the ranks. So the fact that they're falling apart is, we should just maybe get out some popcorn and watch it. I don't know.
Right?
We should really
Well,
take this
kind of,
opportunity to enjoy it. Oh, it's not televised. Well, we can get out some popcorn anyway and get out our voodoo dolls.
it's kind of to me, it's like, like a snowball rolling down the hill, and then it gains steam and gets bigger and bigger. It's like this is the start of something that kind of creeps up into to momentum, and then it's like devastating. Like, it feels like it's just a starting point, and it feels like it's bigger than just Trump. It feels like the whole Republican Party as a whole, kind of gets caught up in it. I've always felt the Republican Party really fracturing before the election,
Yeah. Yeah.
which it doesn't seem like that's going to happen right now, because they're all, we're seeing everybody rally behind Trump, but something big's going to happen, I feel like, and it's going to really fracture.
Yeah.
I read too yesterday on the Democratic convention, and the energy didn't feel good with that either. So
Well,
it's
the
going to be
astrology, and we have an astrology right here in the chat, little Blue Lotus astrology. The astrology for both of those conventions is terrible. Like, the
yeah.
astrologers are like, they should really consult an astrologer the way Reagan did. Remember, Reagan would ask his
Did he?
wife, what is the astrology?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he had his own personal astrologer.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, we're going to all need to hang in there, because it's going to be a bumpy summer. I'm just saying that. It feels
It's
like
going to be summer.
it's going to be bad for Republicans. I feel like fall and going up to the election, it feels better for Democrats in the fall, but I mean, it's very chaotic energy.
Yeah, I mean, all those things you guys are saying in the comments can happen. A false flag, an attack. 45 himself has been saying for, I don't know, several months that we were going to have a terrorist attack. He's been saying this himself. Like, it's
Interesting.
almost like he's sending the message out to the universe. Can I order one? I would like one, right? It would
Yeah.
really help me. So any of those things are possible. But I also say, oh, the Clintons also had an astrologer. That's cool. I would I would also say that Biden has really clamped down on the crazies, right? Violence is down,
Yeah.
right? We really and truly, because I think that he's the intel president. That's what the guides have always said. He's the president that has the best intelligence. He really values the CIA, the FBI, the ATF, all of those agencies. And I think
Mhm.
he's given them the resources and said, I value you guys. Please go out and protect us. So I think he's heading off a lot of these potential things. And what the guides are saying right now is when they arrest people, you don't even hear about it for a year. You don't even get your trial date for a year. And then we know
Mm.
that the media is not even covering it. So I know that these people are getting arrested, but we're just not even hearing about it, right? But
Yeah.
so whatever they plan, they got to get past 45. They got to get past Biden, and 45 probably ain't going to pay him anyway. So who wants to work with them at this point? His checks
Can
are
I
no
just
longer
say, I
good.
just had this thought, Susan, as kind of as you were talking. Wouldn't it be something if Jack Smith started indicting all the other January 6th
Well, that's what I thought was going to
people
happen.
right during the convention? Wouldn't that
Oh, during
be
the
wouldn't that be
convention.
that would
I
be
would love that.
awesome.
What do you see for Jack Smith? Do you see him staying on and soldiering through? And what always got was they kind of wanted to put Trump in some kind of place, maybe not in
Mhm.
jail, but they wanted to convict him and get his sentencing. And then after that, it was open season on these Jan 6 Congress people.
Yeah.
But
I see
the
Jack Smith
Supreme
staying
Court,
in there. Sorry,
you see
Susan.
him hanging in there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I it kind of broke up there for a second. Yeah, I see him staying in. But maybe it gets to a point too where we know that the January 6th trial is not going to happen before the election now. But I
I
still feel
know.
like there's an evidentiary hearing. But maybe since things have kind of stalled with that, now it's time to kind of attack everybody else, right? Because because they don't have presidential immunity.
No. And he
Is it?
doesn't either, because a lot of his stuff happened before he was president, or
I
between
know.
being president. He was a private citizen. He doesn't have nearly the immunity that he thinks he does. It's just
Mm,
really what that ended up being as a delay, which we
yeah.
see that with Judge Cannon. We see that. Um, we see all these delays. We're not dumb. We can see it.
Is it just me, Susan, or did the is your chat okay? My chat's moving now. My chat just crashed for a second. It was just stuck there. I was like,
The
there's
energy is
25 people watching, 2,500 people watching.
woohoo.
Um, we know that there's more messages coming in than just it being stuck there for a minute.
Let me
All right.
ask you this question, because this was proposed. Somebody mentioned Libby with Meister Tarot. She's very, very, very good. Um,
Yeah.
she saw she saw the potential, and I think it's good to say this stuff, because if you
Potential.
guys, forewarned is forearmed, right?
Mhm.
If you've heard it and it happens, you're not freaked out. But there's a potential, according to her reading, that Jack Smith could withdraw the case from Cannon because it's
Um,
not gone anywhere. So he can withdraw it and then keep it kind of intact, protect it, and then let her do whatever thing she's going to do, walk off the cliff, and then resubmit it, because it's a lottery. He could even resubmit it, change one thing, and then resubmit it and get a different judge. Do you think that's possible? Does that have energy around it to you?
it feels like it's a possibility, but it kind of feels like that would be his last possibility without it, is what I'm feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like the 11th Circuit's going to remove her, like he's
I've
going to bring
always
that.
said it, but it
I've
hasn't
always
happened yet.
felt that, but I do agree. I feel energy of that being a possibility if he needs to. I also feel like he might bring more charges for documents, maybe from Bedminster, like New Jersey or DC. How does that feel to you? Do you feel more document charges, maybe in a different court?
Oh, in a different court. I do, but it's going to take a while, right? They might have to
Yeah.
do a grand jury. I mean, that could take 6 or 8 months, but I mean, yeah, I do see that. The other thing I see is whistleblowers. Like this is what the guide
Mm.
said to me. There's all these whistleblowers, like people that are disillusioned with 45 and disillusioned with whatever, maybe 2025, like snap and they wake up and they go, oh, my kid is trans, or oh,
Mm.
I'm married to somebody who's not white, or whatever. They just have this moment of clarity and they're disillusioned, and they either work for Fox or they work for CNN or they worked with 45. I just feel like there's going to be more people saying, here's, I have tape, I have audio. I personally get more audio and more video being discovered.
Okay. You see it being discovered for what? For Eileen Cannon or just in
Oh
general?
my God, all the above. Hey, if FA
Yeah.
with Touched by Tarot is here. Yeah, I see it. Really, what I see is not canon. I saw Fox Media, so I saw Fox
Mhm.
News, I saw CNN, like kind of proof that they might have done something criminal with in
Okay.
regards
Yeah.
to setting up the debate, or just
Okay.
something really like that's in some areas it's gray, in other areas no, this is a crime. But also
Mm.
I saw more, so that what they're showing me right now is the ProPublica, when ProPublica broke the story about Justice Thomas, and they went ProPublica, this little investigative look. If you guys want to support somebody, please support them. They are investigative journalists. It's PROPUBLICA, ProPublica, and they're bringing down these people. But that's what I just
Mhm.
saw. This kind of whistleblower, like they did for Clarence Thomas, coming out for 45. And what the
Yeah.
guys had told me was Epstein message from the grave. And I think it's going to
Oh,
be one of his people, not necessarily the person who was SA'd, but somebody who was there, who witnessed it and has video. Because I think this person was trying to protect themselves. They were like, if this should go
interesting.
sideways, I want to have something that I can go and either go to the FBI or go to Epstein and get myself out of it. Right. Again,
Yeah.
everybody did that. Everybody covered their butt.
I agree with like a whistleblower coming out with more stuff, especially with like the Epstein stuff. To me, when you were talking, I was feeling like a maybe a male employee or staff member that had some stuff coming out. It felt like a male energy. It didn't feel like Maxwell.
No, it's
Um,
not Maxwell. It's
but
somebody
I
else.
she's giving stuff too. Isn't she writing a book as well?
She's writing a book, a tell-all book. I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's just the energy of these people finding their conscience or something. I don't
Mm,
know how you find it now, but that's the
right.
energy of it, you know. And then also, I think these women are going to continue to come forward and find their voice. And I think Stormy Daniels was a good, Stormy Daniels and E. Jean Carroll kind of stood up to the bully and said, "We're going to do this. We're going to get up here. We're going to be witnesses. We're going to testify." And we're going to withstand all these threats. And I think that's bolstered some of these other women to
Mm,
do it, to do the same thing.
absolutely. And I agree. I feel like that it's bigger than just Trump. I could see it being for news agencies. And like I said, I feel a lot of stuff coming out about dark foreign money channels being exposed, corruption. Like I said, the Epstein stuff feels really big too. So there's going to be a lot that comes up before the election. I think it's going to be really eye opening.
Do you think any of that's going to come out around the Republican convention?
And maybe that's it. Maybe that because it
Because it
feels
is,
like
it's
they go
explosive.
in, they go in, they're all celebrating. Ooh, the news is all focusing on Biden and Democrats fighting and all
And
of this.
then
They're going in all arrogant and like, we got this, we're celebrating, and then it's like, boom,
it's a bomb.
you know
It's
what
like a
hits the
bomb
fan?
goes off. Yeah,
The bomb
yeah.
goes off. Right? Yeah,
Yeah. It's just like when
something.
the guide said that there was a donkey in the hen house, right? They said
Mm,
the Democrats are gonna start playing like the Republicans, and what happened was that woman showed up at that soiree that you can get, cheek by jowl to the Supreme Court justices and got that audio of Alito. And then it was
Mm-hmm.
replicated. So this is kind of the same energy of an inside job, like
Yeah,
somebody from the inside blows it up.
I agree, Susan. I feel something big is about to be exposed.
And that's the 15th. And there's also this
Mm.
Argall. I mean, hopefully our resident astrologer is still here. But this thing is called the Demon Star, the Demon something. It's on the
Yeah.
top of Trump's chart, like the top, like the
Uh-huh.
cherry on the top, the demon is. So
Mm.
this is, and that's the 15th. That's on,
Okay. And somebody sent me that, and I'm not really into astrology, so I didn't understand it. But to me, it kind of felt like it was the fall of Trump, right?
yeah,
Like it's the ending of Trump.
Caesar, like see, whatever they did to Caesar. The
Mm.
guides are just talking about Caesar.
Okay.
So, you know, um, Algol, however you
I'll
say
go.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
it's
like
some kind
that.
of demon thing. I didn't even know astrology had demons, but I guess everybody has demons. Um, okay, so Karen says, yes, it's very possible. It's very powerful and very bad. Okay, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
there you have it from the
Buckle up,
astrologer.
everyone.
We wouldn't
And
want to
yeah,
have it at the
first day
top
of a
of our chart.
convention, right?
It's a fixed star. Okay, thank you. And it's a Medusa. That's right. And it does have some kind of female. It's true. Don't you see women basically taking out the Republican Party like
Yeah.
at the knees?
And isn't it interesting too that it's like maybe everything hasn't been concluded with a lot of the cases, but it's like woman after woman is
It
women are
is.
taking Trump down, you know?
And there's more. There's more coming.
Mm.
There is more coming. It's
Mm.
good. It's a good thing. So yeah, Caesar was stabbed, but it was all wasn't it a betrayal? Et al. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You too, Brutus. You too, Brutus 45. Right. Wasn't it a betrayal? I'm sorry that I'm looking really dumb on, tens of thousands of people, but I'm also channeling, so I don't have my full brain. But so there could be a betrayal. The Ides of November, right, Shelley? They did tell me Ides of March a while back,
Mm.
but that we missed the March deadline. That was like we just missed that. The timing is terrible. So
Mm.
he could be betrayed. He doesn't have a Brutus. I don't know. I think you might be. Listen, I'm telling you guys, there's energy behind this. So Nikki Haley gives him the delegates. Okay, fine. Again, the guides are telling me the fix is in. This is what they told me about the Supreme Court. This is what they told me about. So they're telling me the fix is in, meaning Trump thinks he's aligning everything. I've got Nikki Haley's,
Mm.
delegates. I've got everything. I've got everything just where I want it. But I think that if he doesn't keel over from, a pickle lodged in the trachea, then I think he's gonna he can't win. He's not gonna lose. He's gonna win
Mm.
by being in exile.
Yeah.
Mark Meadows could be his Brutus. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Y'all, it's gonna be crazy. I'm just telling
It is
you,
gonna
it's
be
gonna be
crazy, I agree.
crazy. Whatever crazy thing you can think of, it could be even crazier than that. Or Kelly is Brutus. I think he could have a lot of Brutuses, actually. I think he has more. The fix isn't in against us. It's scary. I know it's scary. I get it. Again, we're psychics. We see more than
Mm.
you guys do. It is scary. But I can't me, Kevin, every single one of us, including people that y'all don't even watch, has read that the Democrats win. I just think we have a lot of lessons to learn to get there. It's not going to be it's not going to be a usual election.
Mm.
Nothing about it is going to be typical.
Yeah. It's not gonna be it's gonna be a bumpy road getting there, but we're gonna cross the finish line, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is good. Shelley says learning Tai Chi, right? Doing something outside of this, doom and gloom trauma
Mm.
world that we're living in. Um, so yeah, it's really going to be okay. And then we have to clean up the mess, right? Then we have to get busy and decide what kind of community do we want, do
Mm.
we want abortion rights? Do we want, a Supreme Court that we can count on?
Right.
So, and I think Kevin's is better at timing than I am. Do
Oh,
you
I don't
think,
know.
I think you're
I'll
definitely
try.
better than I am. How do you feel about the Supreme Court? So you're still feeling, I mean, I've seen Thomas getting sick. He refuses to get sick, or he refuses to
Oh, I think
acknowledge
he
that
is
he's sick.
sick. I
So
think
he
he is sick.
refuses to, just like Putin, right? Just like
Mm.
McConnell. They're just not going to admit it. They're just going to kind of hobble along with it.
I almost kind of feel I do feel like he's sick. Every time I see Thomas, I see like black swirls in his aura like coming out of his gut.
Yes.
Something in the gut doesn't feel right. Or like
Yeah.
pancreas.
Yeah.
Something doesn't feel quite right
Yeah.
with him. Like, and it feels like there's disease. I don't want to say cancer, but that's kind of the vibe that I'm picking up with. It's like a brownish black murky energy that's kind of spiraling out is how I kind of see it. Um, but I think all the stress,
Mhm.
all the stuff that's being exposed, his wife is going to be in some trouble here very soon. And it feels like he uses the health as an excuse to get out. Maybe he makes some kind of deal if they're going to investigate
Yeah.
him, for the corruption while he's in the Supreme Court. Step down. We won't go ahead with anything. Something like that. I see like he's pressured out, but he does. There is some health stuff there too. To me, I've always felt like with timing, it feels like it could be just before the election or just after. It feels like it's this year, though. I'm feeling like August to December or October to December.
It would make sense if
October
he
was
stepped
my
down
first
after
thought.
the election because he's like,
Mhm.
that's it, right? I'm not going to stick around for 4 more years and get treated like this by these people, right? So after
He's
the
gonna
election, I
try
can
to hang
totally
on.
see.
He's gonna try to hang on in case Republicans take over the Senate and can hold things up like they did to Obama. But I almost feel like he's not able to, or just afterwards, he's like, well, I can't make it another 4 years, so I'm going to step down. It feels like it's around the election, though. Just before, just after.
But that's Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, it looks like Rose Blue is saying so. Their impeachments filed on both of them today.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so that's good, Alito and Thomas. So that's good. Um,
I see. For me, I do feel multiple Supreme Court justices leaving. Like I'm feeling like three. Um, Thomas is the first, but then I feel like the others are probably as a result of maybe the DOJ and Senate doing investigations, and that's going to take some time. It feels like it's maybe middle to end of next year. How does that feel for you? Is that what you're kind of feeling?
I hate it. That's what I'm saying. I don't do good with time because I mean they tell me stuff like that. I'm like, go back and come up with a different time.
Hmm.
Come back when you can give me something better. But yeah, I agree. And I think I think Alito is on the run as well. I think that they're
Mm,
finding again, they're showing me ProPublica and the deep researching of Thomas. Um, and one of the things that I love about ProPublica is like on social media, I saw a post of theirs and they said, we're researching this person. If you were in this town in 1994, call us. If you were at this job in 2010, call us. Like they
okay.
crowdsourced. You know what I mean? They crowdsource. I
Hmm.
love that about them, right? Other citizen journalists. So I feel like they're going after Alito. And I'm
Okay.
seeing
I see.
one of those trips like that not Kennedy, Scalia died on. And, the guide's always called Alito Scalito. And I thought I was getting it
Okay.
wrong. But it turns out that that's what the clerks call Alito because he was so much like Scalia and he
Hmm.
loved Scalia. So they called him Scalito. So there's something still to be uncovered with Scalia too, even though he's not here anymore. Again, from the
Yeah.
grave, even these
Interesting.
missives from the grave.
Yeah. And I feel energy of maybe Thomas or I already said Thomas. The Chief Justice Roberts.
Oh, Roberts.
I feel like he gets to a. I mean, I know that he's kind of going back and forth, but I could. He gets really tired of all the pressure when they're digging in. He's just like, I'm gonna step out. That's kind
Well,
of
I
what
mean,
I'm
if you
feeling.
think about it, he's Chief Justice. Two of his
Hmm.
justices, let's say, are being investigated or even indicted. I think
Yeah.
he would step down because he looks pretty bad,
Hmm.
and I just don't think he
Do you
wants.
do you feel like when he's out, do you feel like a female is going to be a chief justice?
Yes.
I feel a female.
Yeah, I feel a female.
I don't know how that works on how they get somebody in
I
there
don't either.
for the chief justice. I almost I almost don't know if it would be Ketanji, but I'm almost feeling like maybe it's Ketanji. She'd
I
be a
saw
great chief.
Brown. I did. I saw Brown. But I saw Kagan too. I
Uh-huh.
think Sotomayor is kind of dealing with diabetes, and I think that she's not in the most robust of health,
Mhm.
so she might not want that position. But I think Brown is the youngest, isn't she? Ketanji?
Yeah. I think so.
I love it. I love her. I would love that. I would love that. Um, yeah.
If it's not now, it's later on, but I see her as the chief justice at some point.
If Biden is the president, he will make that so. He will definitely make
Mhm.
her. And if he chooses it, I don't know if he chooses it.
I don't know
I don't
how
know how
they
that
do
happens
that.
either. If they vote on it or something happens.
Yeah. I see she's got a long legacy ahead of her.
She's amazing. She's
Mhm.
amazing. And I just feel sorry for those three because can you imagine being at the highest court in the land and watching your democracy just sort of crumble through this Trojan horse kind of situation you never saw coming?
Right. Mountain Dancer says the president picks the chief justice and then it goes to the Senate.
Well, there
Okay.
you go. That must be why I said Biden would do it. Um, but again, you guys, all you need to understand is that the Democrats are going to win, whether it's Biden or Harris. I don't care. They're going to
Mm,
win. One of those two is going to be the president. That's all that matters. Nothing else
yeah,
matters.
absolutely. I agree,
Oh,
Susan.
Libby's here. We were just talking about you earlier. You guys check out her channel. Great readings. I can imagine a solid SCOTUS judges, ergo the three women are frustrated beyond measure for sure.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, who was it? Was it Sotomayor said she goes into her office and cries?
Oh,
She
I
literally
don't
said
know.
that. She said that to
I
a
would
group
believe
of
it.
people she was speaking to.
I mean, can you imagine having to work
I
with all
can't.
those conservatives? You
I
know?
mean, especially in their role. Like this is
Yeah.
they're the highest justices, the arbiter of our democracy, of our constitution.
Mm.
Um, it's all going to be okay, guys. It really is. It's going to be okay. But I got to tell you, between now and then, it's going to be our stomach is going to be in our throat. It's going to be down in our shoes because we're going to be on a roller coaster.
Yeah. We're gonna get through it. We got a couple more months before the election. We're all gonna be here. It's gonna be all good. Just
Well,
breathe. If you do Reiki self Reiki is really good at kind of bringing in that balance and alignment, peace of mind. Do things that you love that are uplifting for you. Like I said, manifest that positive outcome. Keep that faith. We're gonna get through it.
you guys, I know, and Libby is saying, remember the
Mm,
2000 GOP SCOTUS stole the Gore Bush elect. Boy, do we ever remember? Do we ever
yeah.
remember that? Right? Um, and I get it. On paper, and I get why some of these Democrats are freaking out. I really do, because on paper it looks like we are going to lose it, like we're not going to win, and we need to throw some young person in to get the vote, whatever. Um, and on paper it looks like they're going to fight this to the Supreme Court. And on paper it looks like the Supreme Court is going to vote for 45. But Kevin's here saying that he sees, Thomas potentially dropping out of the Supreme Court. Now,
Mm,
again, I've talked about this a lot. Part of the Democrats' lesson and all of our lesson is fighting the bully. So, how we didn't get Garland as a SCOTUS was because we listened to McConnell say it's too close to the
mm,
election. You can't You couldn't possibly put in a SCOTUS. That's un-American, right? And we were like,
Right.
"Oh gosh, no, clutch our pearls. No, we could never. Oh my, what were we thinking?" And then Trump gets in and does the exact same thing.
Yeah,
So
couldn't wait for the election
to do it, right? So
replace
Biden is
Gingrich.
going to have
Right.
to replace Thomas. If he steps down, Biden's going to have to say, I don't care if it's the day before the election, I'm going to put in a Supreme Court justice in here. We have to do this. We have to play
Mhm.
hardball. This is what's at stake. So I think there's a real potential here for the
Don't you
Supreme
feel
Court.
that though, Susan? I feel like I said, this momentum and this, like, I know it doesn't look like it now or seem like it now, but rallying together. And I feel like all of these younger progressive new leaders coming into the Democratic Party, that fire in the belly, they don't play. You know, Jasmine Crockett doesn't play.
No,
I see them really kind of like coming in aggressive, and it's going to be great. I know it feels like, you know, everybody's focusing on Biden now. It doesn't feel good, but like, give it a week, give it 2 weeks, because we're going to be talking about Trump in the downfall of the Republican Party. You watch. This is just
and
going to
we've
be a new
predicted
cycle.
that. We've
Yeah,
been predicting the downfall of the Republican Party. We predicted a lot of that stuff. And again, we're not always right, but we're right enough that I think that you can take some solace. Because
yeah.
also, and here's the thing, right? Like people talk about Biden's astrology or the Democrats' astrology. Their astrology is so good in 2025.
Mm,
There's no way that you're going to have great astrology in 2025 if there's not a Democratic Party anymore, right?
yeah,
And number two, we would be gone. We would be getting our passports out, right? Readers would be getting their passports out. We're not dummies. We're not going to stick around and be in this mess. We're still here. We believe what we're forecasting. Um,
mm.
Look at that.
I've
See,
always
here's
felt
the
that too.
astrologer.
Yeah,
What's that?
I've always felt like Biden's second term, 2025, 2026 feels even better. It's like we really get all of, you know, we're cleaning up everything and we're really investing into the people, and a lot of like really progressive new ideas, new bills kind of coming in, making, fighting the gerrymandering and making, voters' rights, putting them in place. And then it feels like even like putting those guardrails to make sure that our democracy stays safe. I see like a lot of rules and regulation changes, maybe term limits for Supreme Court. A lot of kind of things. And that's what Trump and these Republicans are showing. They're showing how unstable our democracy is, and we're really going to have to fight if we're going to keep it that if we're going to keep it. So that's what I kind of see going in the next 2 years. I said in my 2024 prediction, 2023 felt heavy, but like 2024 wasn't going to be a walk in the park either. It's like 2025, we're still kind of cleaning some things up, but we can start to breathe. 2026 feels like it's like we're off sailing, like everything's really, really good, is how I feel. I'm not into astrology, so Karen would probably know better than I do, but
And that's the midterms. 26 is the midterms, right? So that's
yeah,
when we want to be hitting our stride. That's when you have 2 years, 2 more years of Democratic policies. And all those things that Biden has been putting into place in the last 4 years are
yeah,
really going to be evident in the next 2 years because it takes a while to get these things rolling. So in the next 2 years, you're going to have more jobs. You're going to have more of these great policies, and people are going to benefit from that.
yeah. Oops. Sorry, I wanted to pull this up just because it's so important. Christine says she checked her voter registration Sunday. It was suspended. Have time to fix it. Glad I check
Suspended.
monthly. Yeah, we got to make
I
sure
mean,
that we're checking.
suspended. How do you get
Yeah.
suspended? That's
Or they
just
just they
crazy.
just throw people
They just throw you
you know,
off.
yeah, it's crazy. So we have to be
Thank you for
proactive and
telling
be
us
on
that,
top of it.
Christine. Yeah, where is Governor Abbott? We have a hurricane, and Governor Abbott is gone. We over here
Right.
here's another thing. Don't underestimate this, you guys. Houston is a Democratic city for sure. It's, I think, the third or fourth largest city in the United States. Right now,
Mhm.
70% of Houstonians have no power.
Yeah.
They're big mad. They're big mad. And the power people are saying you're not going to have power for another week. And it's hot. It's,
Yeah.
field temperature is 105 with a humidity of 90% humidity. It's not even really, it's almost like emergency, right? So
Yeah.
don't underestimate these things that happen that are going to bring out voters. Don't underestimate that. That's a weather event that's going to make Houston be more likely to stand in those 6-hour lines to vote against Republicans.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've been following me, I've always felt like I didn't feel the best about Texas with the storm. I've been saying it for a while, but I also felt with it like, you know, the leadership of Texas really going down because of how they handled it. I don't think Cruz was there for it either. Like the second time there's an emergency in the state, crumbling
No,
infrastructure,
no,
he's in
no.
Cancun or wherever,
That's
and
when they
then the
photographed him.
governor.
They photographed him
The
at the airport with his suitcase. He was the only one in the airport because the whole state was freezing. Literally, we had no power, and our house was like 12 degrees on the inside. So it was
Mm,
really we're not built for
yeah,
that. We don't have insulation for even 20 degrees, right? So yeah, I agree, Libby. Everybody is checking on their neighbors. That's a thing too. These disasters bring you together, and you don't care anymore if you're R or D or
yeah.
whatever religion or whatever. You just kind of help each other. um it's just really hard. Okay, so you heard he's in Korea or Vietnam, something to do with the chips. Our governor, which Biden is the one who went to South Korea and got that chip deal, and
Hmm.
here our governor, Texas governor's over there trying to scoop up some of that.
Well, and
They
before
just
he even left, they were projecting that Burl was going to affect Texas, and he still left.
Oh, yeah, I know, he had plenty of time. That's
Crazy.
what people are mad about. That's what people are
Hmm.
mad about is, look, you had 5 days to bring more resources. The thing that happened was they thought it was gonna hit Corpus, and it slid 3
What
hours
more
north,
north?
but I
Yeah.
mean, that's just 3 hours. You just drive your people 3 hours and um, they just weren't prepared, and our
Mhm.
grid is terrible. We're the only one of the I think we're the only state that has our own electrical grid. The rest of you guys are connected to a national grid. So these are things that are gonna be voted on.
Absolutely. And I see it making a difference too. I feel like there's very strong possibility Ted Cruz is out. I feel him. I've seen him leaving.
All red. Is that it? That's his name, right?
Hmm.
He's doing really well. In the beginning, I wasn't too sure about him, but he's gaining steam, and I think he really
Okay.
can. And yeah, the guides are telling me right now, I think he can win. Let me look. Let me look at that date. I
I'll
think he
throw a
can
quick
win. It might
follow.
be a squeaker, but I think he can win. But we need to call in all red. Thank you. We need to really, really, really help these people. Like another person. What did you get? What is that? The
The
sun?
sun
No.
flew out. That's success. It's the biggest yes in the tarot. He'll win.
Touchdown. I also love Also Brooks. Her last name is Also Brooks. I think she's running against Hogan.
Uh-huh.
Hogan is
Oh yeah.
he's no moderate, you guys. He is not a moderate. So vote, and then Mercuso, the person in Florida, Debbie Mercuso something. These are all people who can win. But we
Yeah.
need to send them $5. We need, and again, like we talked to you guys about sending in those greeting cards, send an email just saying, "Hey, I'm supporting you." It lifting their spirits up makes a difference, you guys. So continue sending those emails to everybody, to Biden Harris, to everybody. Hey,
Yeah.
I support you. They need our support right now. Not only our prayers and our energy, but they really need to read those fan letters to believe that they have the support.
Absolutely. You know, it's kind of interesting because I was taking a bit of a break from the news. I think a lot of people have, but
Hopefully.
yeah, I think a lot of people have. It's interesting though, because you're starting to see. I don't watch CNN. I normally watch MSNBC. I mean, you're still seeing the stuff about Biden needing to leave on there, but you're seeing a lot more of the hosts and them bringing a lot more people on that are really fighting that too. So it's not like it was all. It's not the energy shifting there, I feel.
Absolutely. I pay attention, guys. The energy, we just see these big people like George Clooney and that feels like a sucker punch and it's horrible.
Mhm.
But there's the regular people. We voted for Biden Harris. That's who we voted for.
Yeah.
You can't just take our vote away and say no, you're not going to get that. They're not any better than Republicans. I really feel
Mhm.
like there's a groundswell. It's just like Kevin's saying, there's a groundswell of support building and building for Biden Harris.
Absolutely. Like I said, give it a week or two. I think we'll be talking about Trump and, and the demise of the Republican Party. I can just feel it. I feel like we're just kind of on the precipice of it. So
I do too. I do too. And I don't know what's going to happen. The Democrats convention, I know the astrology is not great for it either. Um it does feel a little, to me it doesn't, the energy doesn't feel, the Republican Party feels like an explosion from the inside out.
real.
Something happens from the inside out.
Mm,
Again, like that Trojan horse energy, right?
yeah.
Um, but I don't know about the when I go into the Democratic convention, it just feels flat, like the energy is kind of flat.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it just feels like the summer feels like it's a bit of chaos all over the place. But then it's like I see Democrats coming together. You see it too, right? Taylor
Oh yeah,
Swift, all of these celebrities, all of these star politicians, all of the people really rallying together. I see, you know, people really pushing on women's rights, uh, Project 2025. It like there's a lot of people coming together. I feel like it doesn't feel that way now, but to me, it feels like it might be just after the convention, like end of August.
that's what I was thinking.
September feels big.
September feels big for other reasons too. Um,
Yeah.
so we just have to kind of look, the
Feeling it.
celebrities that are going to come out are the ones that really matter because
Mhm.
George Clooney is, yeah, we all know him, of course. We all know the other guy, Meathead, but nobody else does. You know what I mean? Like the TikTok kids don't care. The 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds are like, George who? Right? They're following Taylor Swift. They're following some of these other people that are going to be coming out supporting Biden Harris, and that's going to move the needle. That's the college kids too.
Absolutely. And women. Women.
Lots and lots of women. Lots and
Yeah.
lots of women. Yeah, and
All
the
right.
Epstein thing isn't going away. I mean, they dropped all that court documents that are explicit. I mean, like really like
I
porn
hadn't even heard
explicit.
about it. People were asking me yesterday on my channel. So the news isn't covering it.
No,
Shocker.
they dropped well, see, remember when DeSantis was running against 45, and this
Hmm.
is in Florida. DeSantis said, yeah, the public needs to have access to this. So this was DeSantis's way of backstabbing 45. And all he
Could
did was say, we're going to make it public. So it's public.
you know what's interesting is I just heard, and we were talking about Brutus and Caesar, the betrayal there. I just heard that they DeSantis just agreed to speak at the RNC. Do you think it maybe is coming from DeSantis trying to
Oh,
sabotage
yeah.
Trump?
Do you mean you heard this? This is what psychics have to do. Did you hear this from your spirit guides or did you hear this from the TV?
No, I saw on the TV that, or maybe it was on the phone, TV
We
or
have to
phone.
check. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Maybe
There it is,
DeSantis just
stabbed in the back. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys. It's from the inside. It's like the whole
mm,
Trojan horse thing. So if DeSantis, but do you think that DeSantis is going to be out about it? Or do you think he's going to be like, oh, it wasn't me. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I think it would be. I don't see him making it really public, or where it's going to jeopardize him. Or like a personal.
No, no
It would.
fingerprints.
Right. There would be no fingerprints, and it probably wouldn't even be coming from him. It would probably be from his wife who wears the pants there, right?
Right,
She's
exactly.
in charge.
Yeah.
We gotta get you the nomination, honey.
That,
let's sabotage the Orange Menace.
that's right. And she's mean. That woman
Yeah,
is
she's
that
not
woman
good at
is
it.
mean. Holy moly. Are y'all telling me Colbert came out against Biden? Are y'all telling me that? Please don't tell me that. I can only take so much. I'm telling you guys, I've been doing really good on my diet and I'm like eating chocolate.
Mm,
I'm trying to deal with this stress. It's not pretty. Um, yeah, Colbert did. Okay. Well, all right, that's fine. I get it. I'm telling you guys the reason they're doing it is because they're freaking out. Now, Jon Stewart, I feel like he's been spicy before.
yeah,
Colbert, I've never seen him take a stand like this. I personally haven't. Um, so you're saying Colbert just made jokes. Okay, thanks, Kim. Because they all make jokes. They're supposed to. They're supposed to make jokes about both sides. That's okay. But you know, people need to be careful because I think Kevin's right. I think after everything is said and done, there's a groundswell for Biden Harris. And that groundswell is us, is the everyday viewers and constituents. And if you're a celebrity that kind of jumped the shark, that kind of did the wrong thing, you're going to
yeah.
have a hard time with your celebrityness.
It's like everybody needs to take a bit of a chill pill and really kind of think about what they're doing and saying before they do it. Um, like I said, I feel like everybody kind of coming together afterwards, but I think for some people that their career, it probably won't be the best. It won't be forgotten, we'll say.
I can't believe Colbert did that. Well, it's a good reason why I'm not watching any news right now because I'm trying to
Mhm.
save my mental health, and that's why we tell you to do the same thing. The last thing, let's just talk about one last thing. Did you
Sure.
read on the Russian plane parked next to Trump's plane on the tarmac for like days? I mean, it wasn't like a little. It was
Really?
like first of all, they had to park near each other, and the tower doesn't tell you where to park. You figured that out on your own. And they
Mhm.
were literally parked right. There's pictures everywhere about it. Um, and it was before the debate, and it wasn't
Interesting, yeah.
good. It was no good to that. There was no good nothing to that.
There's definitely scheming there,
Yeah,
obviously. There was
yeah.
communications is what I felt immediately.
Communication is what I got. I got electronic transferal of information that could be. What is
7
that?
of
Ooh.
Swords, a thief in the night,
Oh, thief in the night.
making a
Okay.
plan, but they're leaving
There you
evidence
go.
behind too. So they were up to sneaky. There was something going on there.
Yep. Yep. Oh, right. And the Saudis. I think the Saudis were too. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't surprise us either.
Yeah, there were communications going back and forth. Do you feel like it was about like sabotaging Biden at the debate? Is that what you're picking up with it?
I do. Um
Hmm.
I do feel like that. And I for some reason, well, you know what I'm hearing from my guides right now, there were pictures. So you could see these planes from some publicly accessed place. But
Hmm.
nobody was filming 24/7. Who knows if at 2 in the morning they didn't curry real physical items back and forth. But what I was getting was this, when you can take your phone and hold it close to another phone and it connects just with that phone?
Mm,
That's what I was getting, is these two planes were so close together that they could have a private connection and data, and I don't know what it is. Something that, again, the guides are saying, remember, I just said that Biden is the intelligence president. So
mhm.
they can't trust sending things through their usual encrypted sources because we have spies. We've cracked their encryption. Um, and I don't even think they trust their ambassadors with the ambassador privileges. So, they had to get right up, they had to literally do it old fashioned and get right next to each other.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like somebody said cloud connection. It wasn't a cloud, but it was like having to be close enough to kind of download and transmit and receive stuff
Right.
back and forth.
Right.
But
So the
I kind of
cloud
feel
is
like
this way,
they
it's
were
not
being
like that.
watched during it though. I don't feel like they thought they were being sneaky and being able to do it privately, but I kind of feel like somebody's watching them.
Cece, I think it's safe to say that the media is not covering all kinds of things, not just
Yeah.
old things, but I think we've pretty much proven that the media is kind of not to be trusted. Okay. So I don't, yes, there are some things that we talk about that are old. But you're also listening to psychics. So how is that
Mm,
even fact checkable? Right. Um,
right.
thank you, Dale. Uh, it's pretty rough. It's rough right now, guys. It's rough sledding. There's not enough snow, and we're bumping on the ground. It's rough tubing, whatever it is that you do. So send out, positive vibes, like Kevin was saying. Protect yourself, protect your energy. Listen, if we all
Mm,
go down because we're frozen in fear or depression, that's not going to be helpful.
yeah.
We're really, what I see is us that we're part of the groundswell that Kevin sees. I see us getting together, supporting each other, and I really do. I see us in October going, okay, I put flyers out, I put yard signs out. I'm joining this class to teach people about Project 2025. We're going to be busy because we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh,
channel the
somebody
fear into
said
action is what Libby said.
absolutely. Somebody said Cash Peters saw the information being transferred via the cloud. So
Okay.
kind of,
Well,
yeah, interesting.
I'm just saying the cloud to me is like a satellite that everybody has access to.
Yeah.
And for me, this is a secure connection that is
Mhm.
electronic, that is, like the cloud, but it's the same thing, the semantics.
It's
We're
like a
basically
different
saying the same
interpretation
thing.
of it. Right, I
Yeah,
agree.
cloud is a metaphor. Thank you, Julian. Yeah,
Mhm.
same thing. Oh, thank you. Everybody who's written postcards, who's gone to the dollar store and bought those dollar greeting cards and mailed them out to everybody who's emailed Biden and Harris on the 4th of July or continues to email them and support them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so important. It is. And it should make you feel good when you send that email and you just say, I support you. You don't have to
Mm,
tell him what he's doing right or what he's doing wrong. You can just say, we're riding with Biden. We're
mm,
supporting you. I love what you've done. They just need to hear that they're supported,
yeah.
that really and truly.
And I don't think be afraid to voice your dissatisfaction with some people that are calling on,
Oh, that's
Biden
a
to
good
step down
point.
too.
That's a good
You
point.
can do that. You can contact the news agencies. I'm sure the news knows that it's not very popular. I think a lot of the ratings have really
CNN
went down.
CNN is in the dumpster. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting that Rachel Maddow disappeared for a whole week, like somebody's saying, but
Oh, really?
yeah,
He
apparently.
wasn't on
So,
Monday?
I mean, I know she's not on every day like she was, but
Mhm.
apparently she's kind of been a little bit less on. And I feel like that the reason she stepped down and started her own podcast and that kind of thing is that she didn't agree with MSNBC. She wasn't going to be their shill. She wasn't going to
Mm,
tell people what they wanted her to say. She wasn't going to do it. And she doesn't need the money and she doesn't care. So she went rogue, which is what I see the
yeah,
media doing. I see people, established media is going to disappear and you're going to be watching people on YouTube.
absolutely.
That's what I've been seeing.
Well, and
Um,
there's all those, news networks on YouTube too, like Midas Touch and
yeah, a lot of them. David
the
Pakman,
yeah,
Boa the
right.
Fifth, Texas Paul,
Mm,
so many really, really good news. And always fact check everything. Check it out. Make sure that it makes sense to you. And we do have hope. France,
yeah,
and I think Kevin and I both read on this, and we predicted this, that France would find a way to avoid the right
mm,
takeover. We both read on that. Britain, I didn't read on anytime recently, but I think Kevin did
yeah,
and read that the Labor was gonna. I mean, I've read on this a long time ago, but that
yeah,
Labor was going to win. Look, the world is waking up to this. We are part of the world. We're all human. We're going to wake up to it too.
We're going to get through it. All right. And can I
Wow.
just say, Susan, I love your idea of, printing out pages of Project 2025 and just like leaving it around everywhere. Although I don't know about littering, but I kind of like the idea of getting the word out there and bringing the awareness and attention to it. But I think I see a big push towards it. I mean, we're all kind of informed. We've heard about it for the last year, but now it's actually starting. People that don't watch the news or aren't really informed are starting to hear about it too. I think even pushing it on social media, or like young people on TikTok reading, excerpts from it. I see a lot of focus on Project 2025.
It moves the needle. That's the
Hmm.
thing that people read and they literally get terrified of. And it's like somebody said, this is like a over 500-page document. You don't
It's
write
like 900
500
pages.
over like 900 pages for fun,
Hmm.
and anybody can read it. So you can even just put the website on there and say, read it for yourself. The first couple
It's
of pages are enough to turn your hair white. So
hmm
you don't even need to read much of it. But you guys really, Project 2025 gets people to change their voting status. So that's where you want to put your time. And there's this thing called guerrilla marketing where, back in the 80s and the 90s, you didn't have money to market. They gave you ways that you could get your business name out there without spending money. It's the same thing with politics. If you don't want to put a yard sign in your yard, just put up a Project 2025 sign on the telephone pole like people do when their cat is missing,
There you go.
at the bus station. Put it, take it into the restroom and tape it to the back of the door in the stall. Leave it on your table with your tip attached to it. Thought you might want to check this out, but make it 5 bullet points. These people don't read anymore, right? So make it simple.
Right.
But I remember when Biden was running, me and my old lady friends, we would go to the restaurant and we would talk to all the waiters and waitresses. Who are you going to vote for? Are you registered? We really did. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we literally worked these waiters and waitresses, right? Why not? And you don't have to say, I'm a Democrat, vote Democrat. You can say, you should really understand Project 2025.
Absolutely. Thank you, Julianne.
Thank you,
Says a David
Julianne.
Pacman download of 12-page synopsis of 2025 is free. What I
Perfect.
think is funny is I think Trump already knows that he's kind of scared of it because you see, that's not my agenda. I'm not for that, but he's mentioned in it like over 300 times. Like,
Yeah.
how do you hide? How do you get away from that? Not going to work.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's a picture of him with one of the founders of it at the White House even,
You're right,
so
right.
it's unfortunate, but we're going to be okay, guys, but you got to take care of yourselves because
Mm,
this is hard. This is harder than when they told me the roller coaster, I didn't have any idea. Even though I hate roller coasters, I had no idea it was going to be this bad. It's pretty hard to hear people that you love and respect come out against a sitting president. It's
yeah.
not like this was a year ago and there's time. The time to do this would have been a year ago, right? We can't really change horses now. It's just not even, doesn't even make sense
Mm,
at all.
agreed, Susan.
All right, you guys. I hope we've been a little bit helpful to you guys. I know it's stressful. I don't know what else to tell you other than get a hobby. Look, really and truly, do something to save democracy. Make some phone calls, text, write a postcard, say a prayer. You don't have any money, just
Mm,
say a prayer. That's fine. And then move on with your life. You've done
yeah.
what you can do. That's all you can do. You're just going to tell yourself, I've done everything I can do. And now get yourself a new hobby, get a puzzle that you can put together, get those adult coloring books, um, garden, get some house plants, go volunteer. That always makes us feel better. You
Yeah.
know, when you're volunteering, you feel so much better. You feel like you're doing something.
It's so important not to focus in on, and it's hard. I mean, we have to bring our awareness to some stuff that's going on, but not to allow it to consume us and bring us down energetically and putting us in a bad place. We have to keep those vibrations high, do things to distract yourself. If you're feeling like you're going down that spiral, things that are uplifting and supporting. And also, having that awareness and fighting back, putting truth to power and really, making that difference. We can't be complacent, but
Yeah,
we're going to get
can't be
through it.
complacent. Yeah.
We're going to all get through it.
And
But
we'll
Susan,
we'll be there.
I always enjoy our collabs together. I'm sure we'll have to do it again really soon. There'll be a lot going on to be reading on, um, but I always enjoy it, and thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks everybody for joining us. Take really good care of yourselves. You'll see us. We'll be here bumping
Mm,
along the bottom of the riverbed with no water right along with you. Our butts will
right,
be bruised right along with yours.
right.
Um, we will see you again soon. Take really good care, everybody. We're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. All right. Take good care,
Yeah.
everybody. Bye-bye.